Alright, what is up, squad? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Ryan here. I got some PlayStation news for you. I'm going to do my Nintendo news next. Okay, now before I get into this, I want to give a major shout out to all the new subs. We have passed the 600 mark. That is right, we have passed the 600 mark. We're almost, we're beyond the halfway point to 1,000 subscribers. So, I want to give a special thank you to everybody. I appreciate everybody's kind words. I'm glad a lot of you are liking the Nintendo news, and I'm glad we're growing. I appreciate everybody's support. I really do. And let's go ahead and continue with the news now. Again, thank you all, and hope you all having a good, pretty much evening. New Horizon Zero Dawn DLC on the way. Hint job listing. Okay, the developer is currently on the hunt for a new world designer with combat encounter creation or mission creation experience in an open world setting to work on our future projects. According to the listing, the successful applicant will be working on with a small team to create groundbreaking, innovative gameplay with a focus on story and characters. Okay, so the job description adds you will work with fellow designers, artists, and writers to formulate a pitch and see it through the approval process. You will build a bare bones version of the setting that includes the placement of important vegetation, roads, buildings, and landmarks. Horizon Zero Dawn was released on PlayStation 4 in the US in late February this year and early March in Europe. The game is the first original IP from Guerrilla Games since the studio started working on the Killzone series, which pretty much is dry, which is good. Killzone franchise for the PS2 back in the mid-2000s, and takes place in a post-apocalyptic world inhabited by mechanized beasts. The players control Aloy, a seasoned hunter who must battle against these mechanical foes in order to salvage their components to aid in humanity's survival efforts. Now, they also talked about this. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 could happen. What do you mean could happen? It is going to happen. The success they got with this game and the amount of intrigue they've built, we're getting a part 2. Killzone's pretty much done. They're done with Killzone. Well, they might create another Killzone, but I doubt it. They got this. This is the Killzone killer right here. It's new, it's original, and it's brand. It's more interesting than Killzone. I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but Horizon's just more interesting than Killzone. Killzone is cool to look at. You know, visually, it's always been a good looking game, like visually. But I'm telling you right now, Horizon just is a much better and appealing game, and it just has more, just sense of wow, I want to play this. You know. Every time I played it, I always moved my camera around because I couldn't just get over how beautiful the world looked. So, Sony announced at E3 last month, that Guerrilla is working on the first major expansion for Horizon, titled The Frozen Wilds, which will launch later this year. Furthermore, while nothing has been announced in regards to a sequel, the developer has confirmed it's already generating ideas on a possible Horizon Zero Dawn 2. It's not surprising to see why either, as the game has sold over 3 million copies since its launch and is second only to Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy as the biggest single platform release of the year so far. So there you go. By the time they make that, they should be past. They probably will be passing the 5 million mark, or they'd be hitting the 5 million sold mark. So that's pretty awesome for a new IP. That's awesome. Will we get a part 2? Absolutely. This game has done a lot, and you know, Guerrilla Games are enjoying it. They had their blast. They're excited that they have a new game that has built more intrigue and has brought more eyes to their studio. So, I mean, the fact that they're even hiring more people and people want to work with them should be enough right there. So there you go. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the best games we've gotten from Guerrilla Games, and yeah, speaking of games, oh yeah, the ending of this. You guys read the title. Oh boy. It's gonna be a interesting vid. Very interesting vid. Okay. Ni no Kuni 2 release date has been delayed for the PS4 and PC. It will now be coming out on January 19th, 2018. Yeah, kid you not. That's when it's coming out. January 19th, 2018. Okay, so there you go. 2018 just seems like the year for games, doesn't it? It just seems like it for the real big heavy hitters and all that jazz. I'm not calling that a heavy hitter though, but you know. A demo for Surge is coming to the PS4 next week. If you guys are interested in that, you can check them out on Twitter here to learn a little bit more about the game. But it's coming to the PlayStation 4 on next week. It's an action game basically, and they described it as sci-fi Souls and referenced the game's Dark Souls difficulty. It's coming next week to the PlayStation 4. Oh, Xbox and PC. Okay, so it's coming to all three. Xbox, PlayStation 4, and PC. So there you go. Let me know what the game's like, guys. I won't be playing it. Alright, okay, finally, we got the release date. Okay, Gran Turismo Sport release date announced. PS4 exclusive, finally out this fall. Now, where is the release date? Okay. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, so let's go down a little bit here. Okay, I announced the Gran Turismo release date for. Okay, so it's October 18th, 2017, following a lengthy delay for the highly anticipated race simulation title, developed by Polyphony Digital, and the PlayStation 4 exclusive title was originally due to ship November 2016, but was pushed into 2017 in order to allow for further polishing. This is despite the fact that the planned beta last year was canceled in order for the game to meet its 2016 launch window. Although unfortunately, Sony would roll out an open beta a few months back. So this coming out October, guys. There you go. And they sold over 76 million copies of this game. So I don't know what the appeal is for racing simulators. I really don't, you know, really don't. But I mean, you know, they all look good. Like Forza, Gran Turismo, they all look good. I just never really understood the appeal of racing simulators. They're just like, you know, I never could get into racing simulators. But that's cool that we got it done. That's cool. Okay. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita exclusive Digimon story, Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory gets new English gameplay trailer. So, we officially got a gameplay trailer for that. When is this coming out for the PlayStation 4 and Vita? Let's see. Do they have a release date? No release date. Wait. Okay. So, it's coming out in 2017 in Japan. Okay. And early next year in North America and Europe. Okay, so 2018, this will be coming out. And you guys want to check it out, all links are in the description below. Don't worry, all links are in the description below. You can check the video out and below. It's right there. Okay. Kingdom Hearts 3 and Spider-Man PS4 will be getting shown off this week at Disney's D23 showcase. Now, question is, are they showing the same demo for Spider-Man? And are they showing, I'm not sure if we saw demos. We did see demos for Kingdom Hearts 3, but we didn't really see like any like different ones. So I wonder if they're going to show like the same one for Kingdom Hearts 3. But I mean, if you guys care about Kingdom Hearts, it'll be, you know, you can check that out as well. I'm not really huge on the whole Kingdom Hearts thing. I'm just not. I never really got into Kingdom Hearts, but you already know what my most anticipated game is for next year. And it's a shocker for me. It's Spider-Man. As far as gameplay for this, I wonder what we're going to get. Are we going to get the same exact gameplay demo with just different paths to take, or are we going to get a different play setting? Good question. Good question. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but it will be showed off this weekend, and please believe me, I'll be watching that this weekend when it eventually comes out, or when we eventually get the reveal. Let's see what else is going to be there. Let's see, read a little bit more of this. Okay. This year's D23 will see titles such as the long-awaited Kingdom Hearts 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Spider-Man PS4. Presented on the stage. It's not currently known if the footage being shown off is brand new or if it's just a recap of what we previously released, which I just said. But either way, if you're interested in these titles, you want to see more before they launch, it's worth keeping an eye on the show this weekend. Yeah, I won't be really keeping an eye on the eye on the show. I'll just wait till IGN, you know, rips it from the actual event. You know how it is. You know how it is. Cruel World. Cruel World, man. Cruel World. I don't feel like sitting through a Disney showcase, but that's cool. I know a lot of you are hyped for Battlefront. A lot of you are are very excited, especially with Amy Hennig doing the story. So there you go. That's going to be there if you guys are interested in that. I'm interested in Spider-Man. Not really interested in Kingdom Hearts 3, but that's also there if you're interested in that. So there you go. And the last story of the day, and this right here is going to probably anger some retards. I don't know. I don't know. I kept my promise, though. I'm keeping my promise, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. This is news. This isn't me attacking, obviously. This is news. You guys see it on this website. It's not me attacking. PS4 versus Xbox One. Sony has better exclusives lineup, says Pachter. Now, what's funny about Micheal Pachter, I guarantee you Micheal Pachter is just going to become the flip-flop of, again, another flip-flop for, you know, I don't want to talk about it, but you know, the fanboys are going to flip-flop to Micheal Pachter. They're going to say, oh, yeah, he said the thing's a beast. The Xbox One X is a beast. And he's like, oh, no, he's talking about our exclusives suck. You know, I guarantee you that's going to be a thing with Micheal Pachter. Now, just like Digital Foundry is like, Digital Foundry's credible. No, they're joining the hate, you know. It's going to be like that sort of thing. But nonetheless, go ahead and get into this. Micheal Pachter weighs in on the PS4 console battle, suggesting Sony's platform not only has the better exclusive lineup, but is outselling its league rival by a huge margin. Wow, Pachter, it took you now to realize they were outselling the Xbox One by a huge margin? Over 30 million. And growing. They're almost at the 70 million mark. Damn near 40 million. I don't know. We don't even know the... Probably actually, I'm not even going to say over 40 million. I'm just going to say over 30 million. Because the Xbox should be at least 35. At least 35. At least. Okay, looks like I'm going to be reading a lot here, so let's go ahead and read this, get into it. Alright, PlayStation 4 versus Xbox One. Sony is winning the exclusives war. I said this numerous times. Everybody with who knows what a true exclusive is, everybody knows what the importance of an exclusive is. Exclusives make people want to look at your platform, especially when you have third-party games that are not taking advantage of a hardware. This is why I said a lot of times, and a lot of people agreed in unison, and we couldn't disagree. When the Xbox One X was revealed, when the Xbox One X was revealed, and they show literally the same games we've seen over and over and over, and not even the games didn't even look that amazing nor impressive, that kind of just told you right there. I mean, you can't rely on third-party games. You got to rely on first-party as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they showed the Gears or Halo, I probably still would have complained. Why? Because we've gotten so many of those. But I'm saying new original IPs would have been 3 times better, and we would have had a better look on those. Hell, maybe an Alan Wake 3 would have been the real console, like, you know, seller, especially if it was coming out day one for the console. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a console seller. But again, they didn't really have anything, and that's the sad part. You know, Sony doesn't have this problem. They take advantage. They take chances on new IPs. You can't, you know, whether you like Sony or not, Sony legit takes chances on new IPs. They do not mess around when it comes to games. You know, they got a game for anybody. You're an action guy, they got games for action. Are you a shooter fan? They got games for shooter that are exclusive as well. They got all these exclusives in different types of genres. You know what I'm saying? That's why Sony games that's why nobody really cares when Sony games don't really like do crazy big numbers and sales. They really don't, because their games appeal to different people left and right. I kid you not. Mario, like with Nintendo, all their games appeal to the same exact audience, and that's pretty much everyone. You know what I'm saying? Sony, it's like set games that cater to certain categories: action, horror, vice versa. That's what I'm saying. When those games have different sales than the other, that's why nobody bats an eyelash to, and that's just the common sense. So let's go ahead. Micheal Pachter has said that the PlayStation 4's upcoming exclusive slate is far more appealing than what Microsoft has in store for the Xbox One. Again, I said that during my E3 review, but yeah, people call me a hater. Speaking to Gaming Bolt, the analyst has also revealed that Sony's flagship console is outselling the main rival by as much as 2-to-1, with the PlayStation brand winning back much of its audience after a shaky PS3 generation. Again, I can't help but agree. Can't help but agree. Can't help but agree. The PS3 had a terrible launch, and they destroyed their market for the most part. They had to renew faith. PS4 is their console that did that. So let's read this quote. State of Decay 2 is another zombie game like Days Gone, but I think the difference is that game looks like it will have some humor to it. it might do well. That looks okay. I think Forza is a great racing game, but so is Gran Turismo. So it's not a real differentiator. I have never heard anyone say, "Oh, I bought a console because it's a racing game." Oh, because of its racing game, you just expect a high quality racing game to go with your console. Sea of Thieves, I think, looks stupid. So I don't think the announced lineup looks as appealing as PlayStation, he said. I'm going to cut him off here. Okay. What he said about State of Decay and comparing shit to Days Gone, I mean, if you look at State of Decay 2, State of Decay 2, you had zombies ripping dudes apart and didn't really, it looked good. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it looked good. I think Days Gone was just more, Days Gone is the game that gets your heart pumping, you know? I mean, come on. That demo we saw when dude was just shooting left and right and he had to run around and he had to legit, like, kill all the zombies. He was getting swarmed and we saw the destructibility of the zombies and they're breaking through gates and all that. That was more appealing and that actually showed more time went into that game as opposed to State of Decay. Also, we saw we're getting a lot more contests with Days Gone. You know, it's open world. You're going to be on your motorcycle. You can take branching paths. Hell, that gameplay we saw at E3 this year, I don't know if you guys saw the new gameplay, but they legit took an alternate path and, like, took out those two guys with the tightrope. You know, the little rope trap. Took those guys out. And then they went back into the whole thing even more stealthy like they did last time. That was awesome. There's just a lot more cool stuff that's going on in Days Gone as opposed to State of Decay. Now, I'm not knocking State of Decay, but I'm just saying, Days Gone is more appealing to me and to a lot of others. But State of Decay, I'm not saying people are not excited for State of Decay. State of Decay is going to be awesome when it comes out, but Days Gone is the better choice. In my personal opinion, Days Gone is the better choice. It has a legit story that looks good. Character looks like a badass. And the actual zombies, a.k.a. the freakers, that's what they're called, freakers. Not even called zombies, they're called freakers. That's why they run and they act so weird. But those things are more interesting than what I've seen in State of Decay. I'm sorry. I know. People are going to attack me, I know. As far as Forza compared to Gran Turismo, again, both good-looking games, and that's why I never really used Forza or Gran Turismo as, like, system sellers. Yeah, they're good to look at. That's what they're basically that's basically what they're good for. They're good for showing out details in a system. That's about it. You know? When Drive Club was showing up, I was like, damn, that looks good. That's a nice little demo showing off what you're able to pull off with the console's hardware. But Forza and Gran Turismo, again, two games that let's be real here, a lot of you don't really care about. You've had enough Forza. Gran Turismo, we don't really get that many Gran Turismos. Like, we don't get a Gran Turismo every year, but we do get Gran Turismo a lot, but we don't get it every single year like Forza. We don't get it like every year. So, keep that in mind. But, you know, it's up to you in terms of which Forza or car racing game you prefer. So, there you go. Then he took a shot at Sea of Thieves, as you clearly read, or you clearly heard me read. He took a shot at Sea of Thieves saying, I think it looks stupid. Now, I said I had no interest in Sea of Thieves, and I never will have interest in Sea of Thieves. I thought it was a silly game as well. Looked like an indie game. Didn't really look appealing. If it was something like on Skull and Bones from Ubisoft, which looks way more appealing in my opinion, I mean, come on. It's got the naval combat from Assassin's Creed upgraded, plus there's Kraken in the damn world. There's Kraken. You can't go wrong with that. That is so dope. You can't go wrong with that. That is something that I'm more interested in than Sea of Thieves. So, you know, but the fact that he said it looks stupid, I already know that's going to anger some people. So let's go ahead and move on. Move on. That said, I think exclusives only make a difference to about a fifth of the market, 20%. Sony is outselling Microsoft literally 2-1, mostly because they screwed up so badly with PS3, but done such a great job with PS1 and PS2. They're winning back that audience. So guys outside the U.S., they are not outselling Xbox 2-1 in the U.S. Okay, not 2-1 in the U.S. It's probably closer to 11-10, but guys outside the U.S., they were PlayStation and PS2 owners, and they're coming back home to PlayStation 4. This time, I think that's the largest, or that's the biggest differentiator between guys. Biggest differentiator. These guys were PlayStation households. Sony just had a huge advantage everywhere in the world. Okay. So let's iterate what he said here. Okay, so he says exclusives only make a difference to about a fifth of the market, 20%. I would say, well, I can get where he's coming from, because let's face it, most of the games that sell on consoles are third-party games. But I'm going to have to say I will give the bigger percentage to third-party games. However, I'm going to say about 30% is exclusives. Let's face it, exclusives are the bigger point. Exclusives show off the power that devs cannot show off because of parity. Exclusives are the newer IPs and the newer experiences. Look how Spider-Man looks. Do you see any dev doing anything like that with Spider-Man, aside from, like, you know, any third-party dev doing that with Spider-Man? You know, something that Sony did. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last good Spider-Man game we got was what was it? Shadow. I forgot the name. Not Shattered Dimensions. It was that other one. I forgot the name of it. But they're not doing anything good with Spider-Man. You know, they're not doing anything like that. Imagine, like, look at Call of Duty. You see Call of Duty really taking advantage of the tech and, like, really implementing and improving the game? No, it's the same rehashed thing. Same engine, same crap, optimized, but obviously it's the same crap. They're not taking advantage of what needs to be taken advantage. Exclusive take advantage of that. They give you incentive to look, hey, look, you know what? I can't get this game on this console, so I gotta pick this console out to play it. This game looks awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call system sellers for. You need exclusives. And I think exclusives are at least 30%. At least 30%. At least. You know? Yeah, it's gonna be some little 5-year-old that disagrees because they don't know the statistics. But again, I already made my point very, very clear, and there's no debating my point. Sony's exclusives are in different categories that appeal to different people. The sales differ because of that. Nintendo, everything is all together. Legit, everything is all together. Their games sell well because of that. And that's why you always see big numbers from Nintendo. Microsoft, again, they're known as the Dude Bro console. That's what they call Dude Bro. If you don't know what a Dude Bro console is, it's shooters, racers, action. That's a Dude Bro console. So there you go. I know I'm dwelling on this a little bit. I'm sorry. As far as the 2-to-1 in the U.S., again, I agree. It makes sense. In the U.S., that actually makes sense. Why? Let's face it. The main bread and butter for Sony for this console, for the PS4, this generation really has been the world. It really hasn't just been the U.S. Yes, they have been king in the U.S. for this gen for the most part, you know, for everything else. But everywhere else, the world, that's where they have been known as the world's best console and vice versa. It's the world, not just the U.S. And that's where Microsoft messes up big time. You know, that's where Microsoft really fails. You know, I mean, you seen the VG charts, man. One week they sold 100 units in Japan. That's terrible, you know. Europe, they're selling like, you know, better numbers than Japan and Europe, but they're still significantly behind Sony in Europe, and they're still behind them everywhere else. It's like, dude, I don't know what to say there. You know, it's bad. It's really bad. But a lot of people think the Xbox One X is going to make a difference in terms of sales. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. I'm going to make that video when the console eventually drops. We're going to see it when it eventually happens. So there you go. Keep that in mind. And let's go here. Pachter argued that Sony's console offers a more diverse landscape in terms of gaming, whereas the Xbox One is more focused on hardcore shooter fans. Like I just said. Again, he just confirmed what I said. Dude Bro shooter console. That's the Xbox brand. Dude Bro console. But, yep, diverse landscape of games on PlayStation. There you go. Man, so excuse me. I'm, like, not feeling so well. The other thing you need to remember is most of Microsoft games are shooter games, which are hardcore. They tend to appeal to only one segment of the market. Yeah, like I said. Sony has a more varied lineup. It might be as hardcore, but it's not shooter centric. They appeal to RPG fans, JRPG, and so on. Yep, there you go. Again, he confirms what I said. Their exclusives appeal to bigger audiences. Both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One launched in November 2013, although Sony quickly pulled ahead in terms of global sales with its current generation console, recently surpassing the 60 million units sold mark. So, there you go. There you go. Not much I really need to say. He pretty much confirms everything I said, you know? Okay? Everything I've said. I guess it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird, you know. The comment section is gonna be pretty interesting to look at. It really is. But again, not much I can say, man. Not much I can say. Common sense, man. Common sense. Pachter definitely put it on there. He put it on there in common sense. I know this video was a little long. I'm sorry about that. But you know me. I got to go into detail. I got to explain it to the masses that, you know, are going to just take anything I say or anything anybody else says as negativity and biased. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you thumb the video up. I appreciate everybody thumbing up the last ones. Thank you. Appreciate everybody who came through the Spider-Man review. Glad you enjoyed that. Thumb that video up. I'm going to have those linked at the end of the video along with the Sony and Nintendo news from yesterday. And I appreciate everybody again for coming through. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the Nintendo news. This video is coming up a little late, but I'm sorry. I woke up a little late and I'm not feeling so hot, so I'm sorry about that. But thank you guys again for stopping by. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I know I talked a little longer than usual, but hey, you guys want me to talk longer than usual, so there you go. Micheal Pachter, man. Is he pro Sony or is he pro Xbox? You decide in the comments below. All right? See you guys later. Thank you guys again. I'll see you guys in a few minutes with the Nintendo news. All right? Later.